and apparently, after the Greek amphitheatres, there weren't really any theatres until Shakespeare's time. After that, it was all just sort of travelling, itinerant.
Well, I don't think Shakespeare plays were intended to be, performed over and over and over again, were they?
No, I mean
that's just not how theatre worked in those days.
No, and there's even a theory that some of the really longer plays were actually more intended to be just for you to just sit down and read them, rather than sit through a 5-hour play or stand through a 5-hour play.
So they've literally been doing it for centuries, where they just won't take on new ideas and just repeat the same stuff over and over.
Oh yeah, there was no such thing as an original idea. No such thing.
What's that? There's that library that's online, which is like everything that could ever be written ever. Is it the Library of Babel or something? It's based on like an algorithm, but it's basically got everything. So you could, in theory, find a book that is literally your life written in there somewhere.
Yeah. Wow. Obviously, the chances of that happening are infinitesimally small. But,
but it is there.
On a more prosaic note, did you know that in Minecraft there's a library with loads of books
I've seen this.
And if you live in a country where these works are forbidden, you can go to Minecraft and read them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's such a good idea.
Yeah.
So it's a really fantastic way of sort of technology subverting censorship and oppression. Yeah. Really, really cool idea.
Yeah.
The funniest thing I heard about Minecraft with along a similar sort of vein was a Minecraft user wanted somewhere to store his porn links where his family couldn't find it, so he had them written on a log or something hidden in the woods in his Minecraft server. Now, Neil will remember back in the day when we were kids, the way we used to get porn was we'd go to the forest and the woods and we'd find it lying about.
Yeah,
Does it?
I mean, your dad and I, we find for some reason just these torn up magazines underneath a hedge or just beside the road. It's just...
But every so often on the internet there'll be someone saying, "Don't worry, it still happens," and there'll be a photo of porn in the woods. So it is still available.
Is it the same photo though?
No, it's always like a different one. Reddit's good.
Who's buying porn mags in this day and age?
The people who leave it in the woods for the younger generation to find.
That's it. They've got
porn
a thing
fairies.
They've got porn fairies.
Do they still exist? I mean,
yeah. You just got to believe that they're true, otherwise they die.
My mum once found out a porn VHS tape in her back garden, which someone had... I don't know if she took it inside and watched it to see what was on it, but I guess someone must have thrown it at someone else, missed their head, and it had gone over the fence into my mum's garden, and it was my sister-in-law who told me about it, but her husband, my brother, she said, "Oh, he's too frightened to ask your mum for it." So I asked my mum, I threw it away. It's all rubbish. It's all the same. Really, Mum? How much porn do you watch?
So she must have been watching an awful lot of it in order to reach that conclusion.
Yes, yeah.
But there we go.
God, it all gets so samey, doesn't it?
Sure it does. I'm sure it does. Speaking of things that are not samey, welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 Side, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I'm your GM for this game and for many others, and I'm joined by Stu.
Hello.
I'm joined by Neil.
Hello.
And I'm joined by Amy.
Ahoy, hoy.
Hello, good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? Been a little while?
Good.
Yeah. So on the subject of porn, that's integrated it.
We were moving swiftly on, Neil.
Like a dog with a boner.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you find that you're never quite satisfied? What you keep looking and looking and looking. It's like a quest. You're looking for the perfect shot or the perfect.
Sorry, I can't honestly say it's anything I've put that much thought into, Neil. I'll be completely honest with you. But clearly you have, and no, I'm not going to ask what your idea of a perfect shot is.
There are so many micro factors involved.
I'm sure there are.
The perfect shot.
I'm sure there are. What's everyone been up to this week?
I thought you were going to ask what everyone's preference was.
I've had COVID this week. I've been off work.
Oh, of course, yes. Neil's been very, very unwell. There was a question mark as to if you were going to get in for the record today.
Yeah.
Feeling better now? All sorted?
I've got a bit of a frog in my throat still, and a bit of a cough, but I've tested negative just now. So
good, excellent.
I'm free to mix and mingle. Can do what I like.
Stop it, Stu. Stop it. Stop it.
Poor Dom had to put up with me ranting last night, and I did go on quite the rant, did I not?
Yes, we have our social games on Sunday evenings, which normally start around 8 o'clock. I joined the call, I think about 8:05, and we didn't get anywhere near starting until about 8:20 because Stu had a lot to say. Let's put it that way.
Well, I had very little to say. I had one thing to say. I just kept saying it over and over again in different ways.
That's it. That's it. But regardless, good to have you with us, Neil. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Stu and Amy, what have you guys been up to?
I went to the theatre over the weekend.
Exciting. What did you see?
I saw The Burnt City by Punch Drunk, which is a Greek thing.
Punch Drunk are good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's like an immersive theatre experience with a lot of contemporary dance. It's great.
Yeah. So I was going to say you went and saw The Burnt City, but what play did you watch in the Burnt City?
So, well, it's hard to say because I don't really know what I saw. It was just a load of stuff. But it's based on 2 Greek plays, which is... I don't know what the names are. I did look them up earlier. Is it Agamemnon and...
Agamemnon, yeah.
Yeah, and Hecuba, if that's said correctly. But it's about Troy, basically, with a twist. So it had like 2 different cities that you could visit, and it was about 100 different rooms that you could go and explore. The attention to detail was crazy.
A proper immersive promenade piece.
Yeah, so it's just everyone's wearing a mask, like a proper face mask, so you can't sort of differentiate between the audience members, and then you just sort of let loose, and then you just go and explore. It's across 2 buildings. Yeah, this thing. And yeah, it's all the rooms are all props and stuff. You can sit there and read stuff, or find an performer and then just follow them around, or just have. Oh, it's crazy! It's a real experience. I recommend you should go.
From the sound, based on what I know about Greek theatre, it sounds like the audience were the chorus almost.
Kind of. It's really because it's really strange because there's one bit with like loads of flashing lights and you can just sort of see everyone staring in these weird looking masks and no one's got a real face anymore apart from the people that are performing. It's very, very weird. But yeah, it's a really good experience. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. I do like Punch Drunk's work. I when I was at university, I wrote a couple of my assignments sort of based on Punch Drunk, looking at their work and all that sort of stuff. Can't remember anything of what I wrote because I was drunk for 99% of my time at university.
And then you got punched.
And then I got punched, exactly. But yeah, no, I've got a lot of time for them. Stu, how about yourself?
Yes, I've also got a lot of time for Punch Drunk. I'm thinking, Neil, don't we know someone that's been in Punch Drunk?
Possibly, yeah. But when I worked for Past Pleasures doing the heritage stuff, the guy who owned the company had a real bee in his bonnet about Punch Drunk Theatre. That he was always saying whenever we did something that he was particularly proud of. Oh yes, well, this shows that we're much better than Punch Drunk. And so eventually I went and looked up Punch Drunk. I thought, we're nothing like Punch Drunk.
No, that's because they're left wing and he was a right wing twat.
There's that, but also, I mean, the fact that the players are in amongst the audience and it's this sort of an immersive, interactive aspect to it. That's where the similarity ends.
Yeah, but some people just think all immersive theatre is just immersive theatre.
Yeah, but I was working for a guy who didn't like actors. Yeah. He wanted you to be a committed historical interpreter, even though he wouldn't guarantee you lots of work. And he'd always moan that, actors, as soon as they get a job on television or in theatre, they'll be off. Well, yeah.
The answer to that is pay us better.
Yeah.
Pay us better and give us a job we can rely on.
Yeah.
I hope you're listening, Mark. Tips for next time.
To answer your question, though, Dom, no, I've not been up to a great deal.
Yeah, so I saw last night you had a ticket for the thrilling blockbuster that is Swindon the Opera.
Yeah, well, I missed it the first time round, and of course I know the writer.
Yeah, Matt Fox.
As do most people from Swindon in the arts.
I feel like as do just most people in general. Like he's that kind of guy. If you think you don't know him, you probably do.
I know some stuff about him. Anyway, that's.
I've been good friends with Matt for a long time. I doubt anything you can say can shock me, Stu.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh dear. But yeah, I've been exercising though. I've got a new exercise regime I'm doing. That helped me lose 1.5 kilos over the last week.
There we go. We are into prime. We are into prime podcast territory now, folks. This is where
there you go.
It really gets interesting.
Yeah, but that's about it for me. But now I'm fitter. I'm ready to do some more running because we're being chased by a Barghest. How's that?
You better run fast.
That's pretty good.
And then I hope you can swim.
That's it. I'm glad Stu's been working out, but the real question is, has Alwyn been working out?
Always, yeah. He's
never-ending beer stein thing must be quite heavy to keep lifting over and over again. So
he's got one side is like just massive, rippling bicep. Can't even speak. The other side's not, because that's his drinking hour.
There we go. Well then, folks, who do you guys want to give us a little recap on where we find ourselves?
We find ourselves. We've been taken in by these creepers, and Brother Amos has escorted the people we rescued from the I was going to say the grindhouse, but the bone grinder. He's escorted them to the surface.
I mean, let's be honest. That place was basically directed by Rob Rodriguez, so you know.
Yes,
it's accurate.
Yes, it's accurate. Yes. So we have rather foolishly agreed to catch a Barghest, and we've hatched a plan. And already, as my two comrades have gone off to bait the Barghest and lure him into our trap, I can already see all sorts of problems with it. But hey ho, you never know. It could just work anyway.
Yeah, Red Raven wants us to get this Barghest back into its cell, into its hole, so she can seal it back in. We've drugged the Barghest.
Ah yes,
with the drug
poison corpse.
Yeah. That
but we don't know how much.
Partially effective.
Well, you don't know how much.
Well, we zapped it. I know it got zapped, didn't it? And it's just started chasing us, which was the plan. That was the plan.
It is the plan. As to whether or not it's a good plan, I don't know.
It was the plan, but that doesn't mean you have to like it.
Yeah.
And dozen plans, not necessarily what's going to be stuck to either. But, we'll see.
As Mike Tyson once said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yes.
That's it. No plan survives contact with the enemy. Let's hope that you guys don't have contact with the Barghest itself, eh?
Hopefully.
Well, we kind of have already.
We've got some distance. No, we've got distance on it. It's behind us.
How long?
It's behind.
Oh no, it isn't. Oh no, it isn't.
That's still in military terms.
If it's not behind us, that's great. Thank you for changing the story.
It's actually 3 feet in front of you.
In military terms, that still counts as contact. You don't actually have to wait until his hands are in your pants.
Yeah, but we're not in the military.
Well, this is a military operation. That's how I planned it.
What about this looks like a military operation?
Yes. Contact is a positive sighting of the enemy. You see the enemy, you say contact.
Do we call it a bogey?
A bogey.
Is
You
that
can
what
call it
you
a bogey if you know.
Yeah.
I think that's specifically an Air Force term.
Is it an Air Force term?
Especially a US
He's
Air
on our
Force term.
6.
He is on your 6. That's
He's
correct.
on our 6.
I feel like we've all watched Top Gun very, very recently.
No.
Not recently, no. I haven't seen the new one, though. I've heard it's good.
I mean, it's Tom Cruise and, fuck Tom Cruise.
Is it just as hilariously, unintentionally homoerotic as the first one?
I don't know.
I mean, I remember what I remember about the first one was loads of guys rippling their muscles at each other, either wearing little white boxer shorts or little towels around their waist, and they spent a lot of time in the locker room. And I remember, was it Iceman's? The last thing he says to Tom Cruise is, "Hey, you can ride my tail any day."
Careful then, Neil. Tom Cruise will sue you.
Well,
He's
well,
that
I'm just quoting a line from the film.
In his own heterosexuality, he will sue anyone for suggesting he might not be.
Homoerotic.
That's it. And this, I can tell you for nothing, this podcast cannot afford a litigious lawsuit from Hollywood.
Nope.
There we go. All right then, folks. Let's get back into the game after that fantastic recap from all of you. So the scene as you find it, Otto is currently safe. Well, I say safely. Safely is a relative term. Otto is currently not with the party. He's hidden in his hidey hole, waiting for the rest of the group to come and come back with a Barghest in tow, hopefully. Alwyn and Dela, in the meantime, you've started breaking away from this Barghest back in the direction that you were travelling, and as you do so, you hear a crash behind you as you watch the large form of this Barghest smash through a wall and slam into a building nearby. It looks in your direction, and with a bellow, it begins to bound in your direction. So, is there anything particular you want to do, or is the plan at this point just to run?
Breathe heavily into a brown paper bag. I think we're running, aren't we? For sure.
So you sort of you stop for a brief second to sort of confirm what you've seen behind you, and the two of you with Chardonnay, sort of seeing its yellow eyes and bat-like ears looming towards you. You turn and you begin to run back through the streets of the Undercity. The Barghest begins to lumber towards you, and you notice that it is moving a little bit more sluggishly than it previously had. It doesn't seem to be as deft on its feet, and indeed, as it kind of rounds a corner, you see it almost loses its balance as it does so. Who among you has the slowest speed?
I'm on 30.
That would be Alwyn then at 25, because Chardonnay's 35.
Okay.
So Alwyn at 25.
Alwyn at 25, okay.
So Dela, you don't need to run faster than the Barghest, you just need to run faster than Alwyn.
Yes.
That's the plan.
And this is why we didn't bring Otto.
Yeah, I mean, you would have definitely died.
That's it. Maybe Otto would have been the bait. Who knows?
Otto can get a bit of a shifty on with his fleet step.
Yeah. So as you're sort of tearing back down through the streets, you can see that the Barghest it's keeping pace with you. You get the sense that kind of obviously by the way you've seen it before. You would perhaps expect it to have overtaken you, you by this point. As mentioned, it seems to be a bit woozy, a bit unsteady on its feet as it's coming, and as it comes around the corners, there is a noticeable, almost slowness to it as it bounds towards you. I'm going to assume that out of the two of you, Dela is kind of just in front of Alwyn, sort of with her slightly more fleet of foot. Dela, as you progress forwards, you can see that there is a slight fork in the path ahead of you. Now, on your way up here, you recall that the right-hand path is kind of the most direct back towards the Enclave. However, the left-hand path, as you were making your way through here, you recall that there was quite a large patch of sort of spore-producing fungus, and you think, Dela, that if you were willing to risk it, you could potentially sort of divert through this fungal forest and perhaps gain additional advantages against the Barghest itself. Alternatively, you could take the quote unquote safer option and continue heading toward the Enclave. What would you like the group to do?
Oh, why did you give me options?
You're the fastest.
Options. What would Dela do? I don't think she's a fungi.
I mean, this plan doesn't have much room for improvisation.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I think I would stay on the course, follow the plan, do not deviate from our preset plan. Go round to the right.
Yeah, you go round to the right-hand side. Alwyn, you see Dela break off, obviously directing Chardonnay with you. You follow her in pursuit, and a moment or two later, you hear the screeching of claws on stone as once again you hear the Barghest kind of rounding the corner and beginning to sort of rush towards you once more. It's definitely not as quick as it was the first time you encountered it, but once again, with nary a backward look, you focus forward and you keep running. Alwyn, could you roll a d20 for me, please?
$15.
15. Okay. So as you continue towards the Enclave, you pass under what looks to be a like an archway or something, sort of supported by these colonnades. It might once have perhaps been a section of a market forum or like a really fancy townhouse that kind of stretches across the street. And as you pass underneath it, you can see that the pillars that are holding it up, they don't look particularly strong. If you wanted to, Alwyn, there is a potential to collapse this bridge behind you. Either obstructing the Barghest or perhaps even dropping things onto it.
But the Barghest is not gaining on us, no?
It doesn't seem to be, but not. Basically, it's taking kind of all your effort to stay just ahead of it.
How far away do we think the target point is?
You've been running for perhaps a minute, perhaps a minute at this point. You reckon you've probably got another. If you're able to maintain this pace, you've got perhaps 3 minutes more of running before you get back to Otto. 2 minutes. You've got another 2 minutes. That's what it feels like.
See, we don't want the thing to fall too far behind because it might lose the scent.
Are you sure that's what you don't want?
You're not there.
I'm the voice in your
No,
head.
I'm gonna say no. I'll leave it.
You see. Yeah.
Actually, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to run close to the pillar.
Mm-hmm.
So that the intention being, if the Barghest is following me in a direct line, he might possibly brush against the pillar and bring it down anyway.
Okay.
But that won't require me stopping.
Of course. Yeah. You sort of bend around to the right hand side. See. Okay. So as you continue to run back in the direction of the Enclave, you sort of track around just a little bit to kind of get the pillar between the Barghest and yourself. And as you continue to run and to keep pace with Dela, a moment later you hear a smash behind you, and you watch as the Barghest just ploughs through this pillar like it were made almost of sand. A section of the bridge above it sort of sags and breaks away, and you sort of see masonry drop down and pound onto the creature's body. It howls in pain and annoyance, but it sees the two of you once more, sort of pulls itself free and begins to scamper once again towards you. It does give you kind of a second or so just to catch your breath.
Okay.
Nice.
Actually, I have a question for because Dela's speed is faster than Alwyn's. Is Dela moving further and further away from Alwyn, or is she not moving at full speed?
No, that's why I asked what your who was the slowest, because I'm assuming you're going at the pace of the slowest person. I mean, unless Dela wants to channel her inner Otto and leave her party to die, she may want to.
Maybe later. We're all right at the moment.
There we go. All right. So seeing the Barghest shake off these bits of masonry, it does seem to stun it for just a few seconds, and you use this opportunity, unless you tell me otherwise, just to kind of slow your pace for a second and catch your breath before you continue onwards. Is that correct?
That's yes. I'm happy with that.
Yep. You sound like you were going to say something.
No, I was just thinking, can I make sure I've got my shield in one hand and my rapier in the other?
Yes, I think you can absolutely do that. One thing I will say is you will not be able to gain the benefit of the defend activity. Obviously, you're trying to run at full speed.
Oh yes. Yes. No, I'm contingency planning.
Sure, in case it all kicks off for you.
Yes.
The plan is fine. We'll be fine.
All right. Okay. Dela and Alwyn, you continue back through the crumbling streets of the Undercity, sort of twisting right and left. Sort of between the two of you, you're coordinating which direction it is you need to go. Sort of calling out right, left, straight ahead. Quick, no, back on ourselves a little bit. That kind of thing. Dela, can I have a survival roll, please?
Ooh, okay. 13.
13, okay. As you're communicating this back and forth, there is a brief moment where the two of you get confused, and you end up separating for a moment. Alwyn breaks off down an alleyway to the right hand side, and Dela continues straight. What would you like to do to rectify this situation? Alwyn, as you continue down to the right hand side, you can see that you have run into a dead end.
Shit. Is there a building to the left-hand side that I can go through to try and get to the correct path?
Yes, actually, there is a sort of crumbling townhouse that has a shattered window shutter on the ground level, and the ground level itself looks to be mostly intact. So if you want to, you can just sort of bundle yourself through there.
Yes, get myself back onto the correct path as quickly as possible.
All right. Okay. Do you say anything or do anything as you do this? You don't see Dela.
Call out, "I'm coming! Just keep running!"
So Dela, as you take a second to kind of You realise that Alwyn has disappeared from behind you. For a second, perhaps you panic. Maybe you think that he's been snatched up, and then you hear him call out through the darkness. Do you want to just keep running, or is there anything you want to do?
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm over here, and then I'll keep pointers as to where I am so we can find each other.
Yeah, excellent idea. So in that case, as you're sort of calling out to provide a means of orienting yourself, Alwyn, let's have a survival roll yourself as you try and pick. Actually, no, not survival, perception roll. As you're trying to pick your way through this building, you're going to get a bonus because Dela's giving you means of orienting yourself.
Okay, 19.
19. Fantastic work. Alwyn, you pick your sort of keeping the wall on your left-hand side, just keeping a hand there the entire time as you make your way through this crumbling building. After just a few seconds of clambering through shattered living spaces and kitchens and all sorts of things, you see the corner of the building ahead of you has collapsed inwards entirely, and you use that as a chance to break through it, and you can see that you're back on street level, and you can just make out the vibrant green hat of Dela bobbing along, perhaps only 30 feet away from you. You haven't lost all that much time here.
Okay, yeah, I'll obviously make a beeline for Dela.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you make a beeline for Dela. A second or two after you get to Dela, you once again hear a crash and the sound of masonry scattering as you see this Barghest once again sort of whips around a corner. Seems to tumble for a second. Rolls with great momentum and slams into a building off behind you. You wait for a second, sort of perhaps thinking it's not moving, and then you hear a thud on the roof above you as you hear claws sort of clatter onto the stonework, and a bit of rubble comes dropping down. You can see, as you look up, you can see the Barghest is on this rooftop. It's looking down at all three of you. You can see this green mist building in its mouth. What would you all like to do?
Panic!
Take a deep breath to hold my breath and keep running.
Or into its mouth?
No, away from it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Dela?
I think that seems like a good idea. Are you communicating this to me? Or if I could have worked it on my own?
Don't breathe!
Okay. I will also do the same.
All right,
I
okay.
can't do anything for Chardonnay. I'm presuming I can't tell a wolf to hold his breath.
Probably not. But that's a bit too specific, I think.
It is a bit, yeah.
But I think as you all just continue running, the saving grace here is that Chardonnay is a bit faster than each of you, and kind of just as you break away from the Barghest, once again you hear this horrible and you feel this choking, horrific gas claw at your. It's quite horrible. Even though you've breathed in and you're holding your breath, like you feel this gas sort of scratching at your eyes, and you feel it in your throat, and your skin starts to boil and bubble. I will need a fortitude save from each of you, please.
Oh no!
That's right. You were just on the cusp of it, so you are able to. This isn't going to be as bad as it was the first time you fought it.
I actually rolled well, so I got 27.
27.
Alwyn was also 27. Chardonnay is 24.
24, okay. So, as mentioned, you were kind of all just on the edge of it. It seems you very much got this creature's attention. It doesn't seem to be fighting using its entire intellect, if it has such a thing. You get yourselves just out of the cloud just in time. However, you are each still going to take some damage. 5, 9, 10, Okay, so that is 21 points of poison damage. Alwyn and Dela, you halve that to 10.
Okay.
Chardonnay takes the fall.
Chardonnay does.
Are we poisoned?
Chardonnay only just failed that. It was very unfortunate.
Okay.
But with that, you'll continue running, I suppose?
Yes.
Okay.
Spurred on.
Spurred on by the imminent death behind you, as you come rushing into view of the enclave itself. You come round one last corner, the three of you coughing and spluttering a little bit. It seems that whatever advantage it gained by teleporting onto the roof, it has lost in the time it took to try and cover you guys in poison gas.
Good.
Okay, so as you come round one last corner, you can see the looming wall of the Vernal Prison. This icy, basically wall with a cleft in the centre of it. It is currently from where you are. You are currently 180 feet from the entrance of the place where you're hoping to trap the Barghest, and you are currently about 100 to 120 feet from the pile of rubble where you know Otto is concealed. At that point, folks, I think we should all roll for initiative.
Ooh,
All
it's
of
getting
us.
real. Ooh,
Initiative.
Dirty 20.
Is that a fortitude? Or
No,
will
It's
save?
perception.
Perception. Sorry, I'm having trouble navigating this thing. Perception. Fortitude, reflex, will.
Look
I
under
got
your
30.
AC.
Oh, got it. Perception. 14.
Okay. 14 for Otto. For Dela.
30.
30 for Dela. Okay. Alwyn.
20.
20. Okay. Actually, what I would say, in case it's relevant to Alwyn or Dela, Alwyn or Dela could use athletics instead if they wanted to, as you've been running this entire time.
That would be worse for me.
Be worse, that's fine.
Yeah, it would also be worse for me.
Not a problem.
Thank you for the option.
That's quite alright. Barghest, I am going to roll athletics for. That makes sense. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so Otto, you hear the sound of a commotion getting closer and closer in your direction. You sort of chance a peek out of your hidey hole, and you can see coming round a corner. You can see your comrades closely pursued by a bear. No, by a Barghest. However, they are still some distance away from you. Acting first in this initiative is Dela Thornbury.
Well, I will continue running
Good plan.
Okay.
so I can get into range of Otto in one turn.
Yeah. So what's your speed? It's
30.
30. That's correct. So
Yeah.
just a straight line kind of towards Otto.
Yeah, just
Not straight towards
following
me.
the plan.
Not straight towards me.
No, not to the angle. So like towards the where we're trying to get the Barghest. So, but in line with Otto.
We're heading towards the Vernal Prison.
Yes, but the idea is that the Barghest runs past me and not tramples over me or discovers me.
Yeah, so
Otherwise,
facilitating
you're
that.
screwed too.
That's it. All right. So at the end of Dela's turn, we come round to the Barghest. Alwyn, you sort of see Dela sort of puts on a burst of speed and pulls away from you. You look around behind you and you can see the Barghest just making its way around the corner. It takes all of its actions to get around the corner, and it actually gets right up to you. Well, not right up to you. It gets to sort of within 10 feet of you as it comes tearing around the corner. It's now Alwyn's turn. What would you like to do?
I'm going to keep running. Same thing. So aiming for the wall to one side of the hole. So if you picture the hole, the idea is I want to go to the side of the hole. So yeah. I'm up against the wall, but the hole is like in front of me, if you know what I mean.
Sure thing. And your speed is 75?
Yes, over 3 actions, 75.
Okay.
And Chardonnay will be, sort of keeping pace just ahead of me.
Okay. So with that in mind, what I'm going to say is... hang on, just move that. So you see, Dela kind of... I would assume this is something that you had kind of previously agreed on which side you were going and stuff. You see Dela kind of taking the longer route as she's a bit faster. She breaks off to the left-hand side of the opening. She sort of skirts around the rubble where Otto is hiding, and you, Alwyn, are going to sort of basically burst straight forward and head for the right-hand side, so that you're on opposites. Is that a fair assumption?
In fact, I think we did agree, didn't we? Yeah, which side? So we don't even need to assume we actually did.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, how many actions does Alwyn want to use? Bearing in mind it will take 1 to command Chardonnay.
So if I don't command Chardonnay, does that mean Chardonnay just sits there while I run away?
Potentially. I mean, I'm assuming that kind of as you've been running, you've been commanding Chardonnay. Actually, no, you know what? That sounds really fucking stupid. I'm gonna say, if you give Chardonnay no actions, now we're in initiative properly. If you give Chardonnay no actions, Chardonnay will get 1 action.
I've got no choice, right. I've got no choice, yeah. Alright, yes, Alwyn will instruct Chardonnay to move to the pre-designated location at full speed.
Okay.
For Chardonnay, that's 70 per round.
Yeah. And what was Chardonnay's pre-designated location?
The same as Alwyn's.
The same as Alwyn's, okay.
Yeah, the side of the right-hand side of the hole.
Yeah, perfect. So
Alwyn will take 2 actions to run 50 feet.
Yeah, so Chardonnay goes bounding past you. Alwyn, you're sort of running. You've got some distance between yourself and the Barghest, but you are very much aware that it can close that distance if it wants to.
Only 60 feet now.
That's it. All right, end of Alwyn's turn. It's Otto. You sort of see your allies come bursting towards you. Is there anything you wish to do? Do you want to cast any spells in preparation? Do you want to? I don't know. Is there something you want to do?
No, I will just make sure I am really well hidden, because with them running on either side of me, the Barghest could come straight through the middle. I didn't think that was what we had agreed.
Could well do. In that case, Otto, let's have a potentially very important stealth check from you. Stealth. You are getting a small bonus from your choice of hiding place.
28.
Nice.
You don't even need the bonus, bloody hell. You tuck yourself away, sort of seeing your allies come towards you. You hunker down and you just prepare to unleash your torrent of water. But you do nothing else, is that correct?
Well, I'm thinking because of how far I am from where the Barghest is, the hole we've got to put the Barghest in, I'm going to actually have to wait for the Barghest to run past me, and then I'm going to have to come out and pursue it some small distance before I release the wave.
Potentially.
Yes, so what I'm ready to do is to come leaping out.
Okay, all right. So in that case, then, Otto, with your 2 remaining actions, would you like to ready an action to jump out of the rubble? Basically, get them moving.
Maybe I'll cast a fleet step.
Okay, cool.
Cast fleet step.
Yeah, cast fleet step. Obviously, you're not moving at the moment, but you feel your blood pumping as you inherently know that you are now much faster. All right, end of Otto's turn. We're back round to Dela. Dela, what would you like to do?
Okay, so am I fully in a good position, or do I need to keep running?
Well, you are still... so immediately in front of you, there is this kind of collapsed, what would have once been a small clock tower that Otto is concealed in.
Okay.
Ahead of you... Basically, if you want to get sort of right on the left-hand side of the entrance to the Vernal Prison, or this kind of crack in the side of it, you are about 80 feet of movement away.
Okay. I will move... And how far away is Alwyn from me?
Alwyn from you is sort of diagonally back and to your right. Alwyn is 45 feet back.
Okay, so I will move once, the 30 feet going the same direction I have been going.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ready a attack if the Barghest comes in range.
Okay, so if it comes within 5 feet, you're going to stab it.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Sounds great. End of Dela's turn. We are round 2, the Barghest. And the Barghest is going to run toward the nearest thing it can see, which is, I'm afraid, Alwyn Templeton. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35. Oh, you are a very lucky half-elf.
It was a plan.
Incredibly lucky half-elf. It has to use both of its movement, but both of its actions, to rush towards you. But get up in your grill, it does, Alwyn. However, that is all it can do. It's your turn.
Right. First action will be to command Chardonnay to keep going to that spot by the crack in the Vernal Prison.
Right.
Seeing that Dela has stopped, want to call out to her. Run! Stick to the plan! Use Chardonnay if you need to, but stick to the plan. Is that going to take an action, or is that okay as a free action? Because my other plan is just to leg it.
Yeah, no, you can absolutely, you can kind of shout that as you're running. That's fine.
Okay.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, you can have a brief response.
Oh, you numpty! I'm waiting for you.
There you go. That's all you get. That's all you get.
Your fools.
There.
Yeah. So 50 feet in the same direction.
50
which
feet
means
in the
I
same
actually
direction.
get past Dela.
Do you?
You were 45 feet away in a diagonal.
But then I ran another 30.
Oh,
Yeah.
Then you ran. Right.
Yeah, you're not quite. You're not quite ahead of her yet.
No.
However,
I'm staying in range. I'm not coming back.
However, Alwyn, as you move away from the Barghest, you see it swipes a very woozy looking claw in your direction.
Oh, shit, it's got an attack.
Has. That is a 31 to hit, Alwyn.
31 hits.
31 hits, okay.
Not a critical hit. That's
Thankfully, yes, that's the saving grace there.
Yes.
Because that would have been nasty. Might still be pretty nasty. That is... Oh, it's not too bad. 18 points of slashing damage, Alwyn.
Okay. And I'd presumably take some ring damage at the same time.
Oh, yes, thank you. Well reminded. That is 2 points of ring damage, Alwyn. As you feel this... Yep, it constricts once more.
It won't hurt if you stop thinking about it.
If I stop reminding the GM.
That's it. All right. Okay, then, Alwyn. That's your turn. So, sort of command Chardonnay and then keep running yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. The end of your turn, Alwyn. We are on to Otto.
So, both Dela and Alwyn have passed me, have they?
Dela has just passed you. Alwyn has not passed you yet.
So I stay hidden.
Yeah,
That's
you stay
the plan.
hidden. Sure thing. It's there. I won't ask for another stealth check because as you've not done anything. Okay, so yeah, you concentrate on staying hidden for the time being. Dela, we are round to you.
Okay, so would I be writing, assuming that I am 2 moves away from getting to my preferred spot to the left
yes.
of the thing?
Yes, you are.
Okay, cool. I will make those 2 moves so I'm out the way. And what can I do for one? Not much. I will be ready.
You just be ready, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You spend one action questioning your life choices.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how I ended up in this cold, forsaken part of the world.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. At the end of your turn, Dela, we are back around to the Barghest. Still not really noticing exactly the situation it's in. It is once again going to hair towards the nearest thing it can see, which is Alwyn. And Alwyn, actually, you're gaining a little bit of ground on this creature. Not sure how that works. I think it's because diagonals are weird. But yeah, you sort of... So once again, it has to use 2 moves just to run directly towards you. That's going to end its turn. Alwyn, what are you going to do?
Right, but it's right up next to me again.
It is.
How far is Chardonnay from the designated location?
Chardonnay can get there with 1 move action.
Does that thing still apply where if I don't give Chardonnay an instruction?
In this case, yes. Like I know that's a specific ability the companion gets at high levels, but I'm giving it to Alwyn for this occasion, just because otherwise it's going to get really wonky.
Thank you. Well, I will allow
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay...
And also, Chardonnay's been running with you the entire time, so
Yeah,
it's fine. Just going to hand wave it.
Okay. So, yeah, I will allow Chardonnay to get there. And seeing that it's only just caught up with me,
Yeah.
my first action, I'm going to take a step action to get out of range of the Barghest.
Very, very sensible. You step, you cautiously, you slow yourself to, I wanted to say a trot, but that's a horse term. A jog, that's it. You slow yourself to a jog. You watch its movements, and when it's about to spring, you dart nimbly out of its reach.
And then I use 2 actions to leg it in the desired direction.
Okay, so Alwyn, you are now 25 feet from the entrance, this kind of break in the ice wall where you're trying to get the Barghest into. Chardonnay is 20 feet ahead of you on your right, and Dela is about 30 feet away from you on your left. They are both now in position.
Excellent.
Okay, that's Alwyn done. we are round to Otto. You've seen Dela, Alwyn, and Chardonnay have all come herring past you. However, the Barghest itself has not yet. You can hear these lumbering footsteps, sort of crunching on the stone somewhere behind where you're hidden, but it hasn't passed you yet. What do you wish to do?
Nothing. Stay hidden.
Stay hidden again. You just want to wait. Very sensible. Dela, we're round to you. You are in position on the left-hand side of this break in the ice. It's your turn. What would you do?
I will ready an action to strike the Barghest if it comes close to me. Otherwise, I will wait.
All right. Okay. In that case, we are back around to the Barghest. Your stealth roll, Otto, I think it's not going to matter. Oh yeah, no. So Otto, you sort of hold your breath as you concentrate on the spell that you're about to perform. You hold your breath and you hear the sounds of these footsteps lumbering closer and closer and closer, and in your head for a second you fear that you're going to see just yellow eyes and wide needle-like teeth staring down at you. But this creature seems too distracted by everything else that is going on that it lumbers past.
I was relying on that. I bet my life on it.
Once again, it rushes towards Alwyn, who is the nearest one.
Yeah.
Once again, it can only just get into range with you with 2 moves. And you kind of see. Okay. Yeah, you kind of see as it comes screeching into this sort of central courtyard. There is a brief moment of clarity, and you see its eyes glance to the prison, towards the ice, towards Dela on one side, towards Dela in front of it, and Alwyn. For the briefest of moments, you see a flicker of perhaps not fear, but realization run across its eyes, and at that exact, just as it seems to be perhaps turning tail to run, you see streaking out from the darkness on the right hand side a crackling bolt of black and purple energy strikes the creature in the bum. Strikes it in the bum. Why not? And it
Right in the ass.
Because that's funnier.
That's it. Just to lighten the mood of this situation a bit. It lightens, and indeed it sort of strikes it in the rear end. The creature shrieks, forgets what it was thinking of a second ago, and stares hungrily at Alwyn and Dela. And that is where we end for tonight, folks.
No!
Ooh.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Fiegel Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com. Editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.
to say it is going according to plan.
Don't say that. Wait until the plan has gone to plan before you say that.
So far, every step that we've planned it's happening.
Touchwood.
Yeah,
Touchwood.
You probably didn't think you'd get as badly hurt as you did, but apart from that...
I think the first time we've had a plan and stuck to the plan, rather than just being like, oh, we're looking for these people that you might have, hidden.
I mean, we've another episode to go on this plan, so...
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Rather than, oh no, we just wanted to check the terrorists were dead.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then and the third episode of this story will be buried with full military honours.
And to be fair, Alwyn's not made it quite into position yet.
That's it. Alwyn is still a little bit exposed. There we go. Right. There was I did want to get very slightly further in the initiative before I call the end that episode. I thought in my head I had a really cool point as to where I was going to end it, but that also felt really, really good. So I was like, let's just go with that. Why not?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent.
I feel not stressed. That's the wrong word because I'm enjoying it.
I enjoyed the chase sequence. That was very chasey.
Yeah, there's got to be a proper excited's not the right. There's got to be a name for thrilled. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's thrilling.
Anxious.
Yes. Well, yeah, when it's like anxious and stressful, but in a fun way. Thrills. Thrills, I think, is the
thrills.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting the adrenaline. The adrenaline's going.
Yeah, the chase. The chase. I was particularly happy with the chase itself. I'm glad that went. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad it went okay.
Definitely.
Which is good because I hate chase levels in games. They're always the worst.